How's it going, everyone? I'm Slav-in-a-tor-ski and welcome to the channel. And for my new viewers, welcome. If you enjoyed this content, please consider subscribing to the channel to see more coming in the future. And for my returning viewers, thank you for stopping by again. Always appreciate you guys' support, and I hope you enjoy the videos going forward. Alright, so, as you already know by the title of the video, the GX4 versus the P365 today. Going to put them side by side, let you see what they look like. I mean, obviously one is a lot more expensive than the other, but at least this way you'll kind of get to see. Now, mind you, this is the tack pack version. It's quite a bit more expensive, but the base version of the P365 is $100, $150 more than the Taurus itself in the GX4. So we're going to put my shameless plug in here next. We'll come back and I'll go ahead and have everything unpacked for you, and we'll be ready to go. If you're interested in learning more about the channel, you can follow me at Twitch, where I drop my gaming content and stream regularly, Instagram, to find out more about me personally and what I do in my day-to-day life, Twitter, where I'm usually posting links from the Share with Friends option from Classics contests, and Facebook as another outlet to share the content that I'm dropping regularly. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell and enable all notifications to see the most current content dropping. Alright, here we are back. I have everything pulled out of the boxes that are important, the paperwork and locks and stuff like that. I left inside the boxes. If you want to see what all the extra paperwork that comes with these are, check out their individual reviews on my channel. Now, I kind of have the camera zoomed out a little bit so you can see everything, but I'm going to click the button real quick, so unfocus your eyes for a second. There we go. I know those little adjustments kind of hurt my eyes, so I want to give you guys a heads up. Now, this way it'll actually focus up close so you can see these. Now, I want to go over everything that you get in the boxes. Again, this is the tack pack for the P365. The standard version, you get maybe one of these 12-round magazines or two 10-round magazines. It really depends on which version you pick. There are several out there. But I just want to go over what comes in the boxes. So we'll start with the GX4. You, of course, get the GX4 itself. Look at that dog hair on it already. Let me wipe that off for you guys real quick. This is why I keep a rag right here. It's like no matter what I do, these things keep getting dirty. There's the GX4. You get an idea what's in there. Comes with 2 magazines. Everything was unloaded off camera, so don't worry about that. These are Mekgar magazines, and they are 11-round capacity. And you get 2 of them right here. Also an additional back strap put on the back grip, make it a little fatter. And you get the little mini GX4 here, which is also the takedown tool. So that right there goes into the slot right there. If you want to see how that works, check out its review on the channel. It's kind of cool. Alright, so the tack pack for the P365. This one comes with 3 magazines. You see them here. These are all 12-round magazines. So pretty good magazines, also made in Italy. These are Sig branded. So pretty cool. Good magazines, and you'll see, if you compare them side by side, the Sig ones have that long, deep kind of groove all the way down. That helps if there's any dirt, debris, anything in there. Taurus has that, but it's not quite as robust. Now, another thing you'll notice, I just kind of noticed this by feeling it, because the Sig magazines have that gloss feel, Taurus is more matte, you can actually feel these are a little bit slick, so they'll actually feed in and out of the magazine well much easier, in my opinion. Alright, tack pack also comes with a Sig branded holster, just a little plastic holster, nothing special. See, it's squishy. It fits right in, so no issues there. Haven't really messed with this holster too much. I might mess with it a little bit more down the road to see if get a little bit more retention out of it, but that's about it. And up here is like belt clips and things. So here is the P365 itself. Very nice looking. I enjoy this thing quite a bit. Alright, so we've gone ahead and we looked at the things that come in the box, but we're more interested in the actual items themselves. That's what's important here. So I'm going to go over the features on both of these, and you let me know kind of which ones you guys like, which ones you don't. As far as magazines go, obviously I like the Sig ones a little better. You get more capacity. They feel a little better in hand. They're a little bit slicker, a little bit better built, I think. Now they are also a lot more expensive. These run about $50 a piece sometimes. You can find them at $35 on sale, stuff like that. Generally speaking, they run $50. I did find those available for those Pro Mag. I think they were $20 on sale. I have no idea if the Pro Mags for those are any good, so let me know in the comment section if those are worth it or if those are just junk. I know Pro Mag's kind of hit and miss. Alright, so GX4 features. We're going to start up top. Front and rear slide serrations. They make it easy to get a hold of. They aren't terribly deep, and they aren't super, super grippy, but they are there in case you need them. I'm not saying these are bad slide serrations. I'm just saying that they aren't as good as some others. Like, these ones are really deep. You can really get your fingers in there. These ones aren't quite as deep. Now, that's not saying you have any problems with that. Just keep in mind, if you do get oil or dirt or something on this, or I don't know, sweat, your fingers can't easily slip off here. Let's say you're shooting this after cleaning it, some oil gets on here, you gotta press check it. Be careful, because your fingers might have a tendency to slip. I've had that happen when I was cleaning this, and I was kind of just checking it. It has slipped in my hands a couple times where other ones have not. So they are there, just make sure you have good firm grip. No baby grip, okay? Alright, moving down. So we do not have a accessory rail up front, nothing. No slide serrations on the front of the trigger guard, but I do like the shape of the trigger guard. It's aesthetically pleasing to me, the nice squared grip. You have a little push here, so if you want to, grip like this, you can put your finger up there and kind of rest it on there. It's nice. You have these little pads. They're kind of like sandpaper, so while you're holding it, put your finger there, you can feel it, so it's tactile, you know where it is at. Nice swell here, or I should say divot, for the webbing of your hand to go into, so you don't get any slide bite. Very nice. The grip itself, super grippy, sandpapery all around, not bad, very good. I like that. Of course, you can switch out the back plate here with a bigger, fatter one if you wanted to. Slide catch, slide release up top, very easy to use. Trigger is single action only with a trigger blade safety. Heavy trigger, but it is a nice trigger. You do not have the second strike capability of the other Taurus G series, so just keep that in mind with this one. There is no frame mounted manual safety. There is no slide mounted manual safety. They might make an option in the future that does that. I have not seen it yet, but they might. Is that dirt or is that just grime? I think that's just grime. Okay. Anyways, moving on. Magazine release. I like the shape of it. It's got kind of that triangular one. It's pretty cool looking. It is reversible to put on this side if you wanted to. So that is pretty cool. The back plate on the slide has the Taurus logo, very reminiscent of Glock. You have serrated, blacked out rear sights that are drift adjustable. They are not adjustable for elevation whatsoever. And a front dot sight that's posted in here. It is not dovetailed in like the rear one. It's just a screw that comes in and holds it in place. Up top, because I skipped it earlier, you do have a port to look into for brass to see if there is a loaded chamber or not, so that's nice. Coming down to the bottom, it is a little bit of a cutout here for your finger to fit, so that helps. I like how this shape is right here, so it kind of naturally makes your finger want to go where it wants to go. Very, very nice. And as far as the magazine well, everything fits in nicely. Super nice and flush. The magazines come with it, and you see that little cutout, so you can strip it if you need to. Very, very nice. I do like this one quite a bit. I especially like the price. Sub $400. Alright, P365. I've seen these going for $500 and up. Again, mine was the tack pack, so it was more expensive. I feel like I might have probably paid a little bit more than I should have for it. But let's go over the features on this. We'll start the same place. Front and rear slide serrations. So you'll see here, it is a lot tougher of a slide, but these are super grippy, so very nice. Let's see, moving down, you have a proprietary accessory rail on this one. It is not a Picatinny rail, it is their own rail, kind of like how HK does on their USP series. So you can get things that either adapt this to a Picatinny rail or things that are made for this. You do have a rounded off trigger guard. It comes into the bottom with a slight cutout for your finger to hold on to, so not bad. You have some nice sandpaper gripping all the way around. On the back here, nice cutout for the webbing of your hands so you don't get any slide bite. Frame mounted manual safety. So it does let that work, but stops the trigger. Magazine release is also a triangular one. It does not have the serrations of the Taurus, but it is kind of smooth and curved around. It is reversible if you wanted to. You see that manual safety is ambi. And let's see, the slide catch, slide stop, people ask about that. You can go ahead and release it that way if you wanted to. Takedown lever. There is no trigger blade safety on this one, just the trigger. You have the sights. You have their X-ray 3-day sights that are night sights. So very nice. They are dovetailed in, front and back. So you can get those replaced pretty easily if you needed to. There's your back plate. I know you can get other back plates for that if you wanted to. But all in all, this is a very, very nice concealed carry option. You see it also has some slight finger grooves here on the front where the Taurus does not. So a couple different differences on the two of these. So very nice. I do like both of them. And trying to do these long form, free form videos where instead I cut every time, I'm not making as many syntax errors or as many speaking errors as I do in the past, or I'm just not catching them. So I think these are a little bit better, just more honest, I think, without the cutting. I'll probably get back to cutting it down the road when I start stuttering again, knowing me. But anyways, off of that, let's get back to the Takedown. So you do have that little baby GX4 for the Takedown there. I didn't say on the features which ones I like. I do like the Sig's features a little bit better. Manual safety, better sights. Also, it's more expensive. You do have a pick rail on there. Well, sorry, an accessory rail, not a pick rail. See, now that I think about it, now I'm stuttering. So that does have more features, so I do like that. But I'm willing to pay more for one of these if they add those features to it. So we'll see what happens down the road. All right, so back to that Takedown. This little guy fits right in there. You twist it, and you can actually take this down. Generally speaking, I don't like a takedown tool needed to field strip, but you can also use a coin, a flathead screwdriver. You can use a couple different things there. And so the takedown for this one is just a rotation, kind of like you're used to with like a Beretta, so to speak, or other Sigs. It's very easy. You don't need a tool for it. So I do prefer that a little bit, but really the Taurus is super, super easy to take down if you wanted to. Obviously, we went over the sights. They are superior on this one, but that's because they included it with here. Taurus, I think, probably could have sprung a little bit more to have upgraded versions of these with better sights right from the factory. That would probably make it a little bit more competitive with this. But I know what they're doing. They're just going for their budget-friendly option, which I think is a good idea, a good marketing scheme on their part, because not everybody can afford something like this. And this is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it at all. So let's go over the triggers. So we'll start here. We'll charge them up. Now, on their own individual reviews, I do have a Lyman trigger gauge. Go ahead and check those out. You can see what the actual poundage is. I'm just going to do this by hand feel right now. Now, the GX4 is a very heavy trigger on single action, but it's super crisp. You see it hits a wall. Instant break. The reset is very quiet. See, you barely hear it. The Sig, on the other hand, I think I already charged it, but just in case. Get back to here. It's a little spongy and it just kind of releases. It's not as crisp of a trigger. So, reset. The reset is super clear to hear. It's right in the front of the wall. The wall on this is kind of like a soft wall. You hit it, and then you pull it back a little bit more, and it breaks at the back of the wall. So it's not as heavy of a trigger at all. It's actually a much lighter trigger, but it is not as crisp, and I prefer crisp trigger over a heavy trigger. So I'm perfectly fine with it being a little bit heavier if it's super crisp. So I do actually kind of like that trigger a little better. We'll see more when I get these to the range and actually get them shooting to see which one I prefer actually in action, not just dry firing. So we'll see from there. Alright, so we've gone over magazines. Of course, you can get a ton of accessories for both of these. You'll probably be able to get more accessories for the Sig just because it's been on the market longer. So you should be able to find a ton of stuff for that. But that's not saying the GX4 doesn't have a ton of accessories out. When it was released, their website was packed full of accessories you could buy for it. Different sights, base plate extensions for the mags, a whole bunch of different stuff if you wanted to go for it. So those options are there if you would like them. So I guess now it is time to go ahead and weigh these two. So I will cut here. I'll get the scale out to kind of save you some time, and we'll weigh them together. Alright, so here we go. GX4 on the left, Sig is on the right. Let's go ahead and weigh some magazines just to have some fun. Sig 12 round magazines, 2.5 ounces. Taurus 11 round magazine is 1.9 ounces. If you want to see what these weigh with fully loaded magazines in them, go ahead and check out their individual reviews. That way you kind of have an idea of, you know, if you're going to be carrying that in a holster and a couple of these in your belt or pocket, you know just how much weight you're carrying on you. That is very important, especially depending on what you're wearing. Alright, GX4. We're looking at 1 pound, 0.6 ounces. P365. 1 pound, 0.6 ounces. You see that? Let's try it again. 1 pound, 0.6. 1 pound, 0.6. These weigh the exact same thing. Of course, the magazines are going to make that a little bit heavier on the Sig side because these are a little bit heavier magazines. But that's really interesting, having a live weight of these actually weighing the same amount. Really cool. That's why I like having the scale here to test them out. Alright, so we've gone over all the features on these, the magazines, the weight, the triggers. Again, you want to see super detailed about the triggers, check their individual reviews where I break out the Lyman gauge on it. Cool stuff there. And I believe that's everything I normally go over on these. So now to the usual, my final decision on these. With them, I'm just going to have to tell you guys, because it's hard. As you see, I own these myself. It's hard to make choices between these. I would say if you have the extra money and you can afford it, go for the Sig. If you're on a budget, or if you already have a Sig, or you're just trying to get into the market, try out the Taurus. It's much more budget friendly. It's sub $400. This is usually $500 and up, depending on the version you get. So I would say, yeah, kind of lean towards the Taurus on that one, unless you are more than willing to spend the extra cash for the Sig. You kind of have the Gucci version, you kind of have the base model. Either way, you can't go wrong because they're both awesome options. I like them both. I think both will do you just great, just fine. With I haven't noticed any mechanical issues on these yet, so we'll see. Of course, if I do notice any issues on one, that'll be one of the first things I put up here on the channel. Alright, so yeah, if I had to make the choice though and money wasn't a thing, I would lean towards the P365, but I do really like the GX4 quite a bit. I mean, it is kind of the new kid on the block too, so it's kind of fresh. But yeah, I think with that, if you were trying to save a few bucks, maybe buy a few extra magazines or buy some ammunition with it, go for the GX4. You really can't go wrong. It is kind of like a baby Glock, but it is Taurus. And I don't know, I really like it. It's nice and thin, it's not too heavy. It's just like the Sig. It's kind of the same idea on both of them. Not too thin, or kind of thin, not too heavy. I do like the sights on this a little bit better. Let's go ahead and show them side by side. So you see there from the rear, Taurus is a little bit taller. If you look at them from here, the Sig is slightly shorter. Looks about a similar thickness on them. These are both unloaded. Before anyone freaks out and thinks I'm pointing a loaded gun at you, you can see the firing pinhole, so they're not loaded. That's how they look out from the front. So you see the Sig's a little bit shorter. Of course, a P365X is going to have a longer grip on it. So let's take a look at these with the Taurus on top. Let's try it with the Sig on top. Kind of get an idea there of the differences between them. Either way, they are both very cool and very interesting options I think everyone should take a look at. I'd say more than worth seeing what you can do with them. But can't go wrong with either choice. I think they're great. I know when the P365s first came out, they had issues. That's been years ago. I don't think they have those issues anymore that I've heard of, because I've researched it a bit and I haven't seen anything recently. Nothing that I've seen anyways. Of course, the GX4 is brand new, so if there are issues, I'm sure they'll come out within the next few months. We'll probably see them. But yeah, that's it. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Do you prefer one of these over the other? Do you like one more? The Taurus a little more? Do you like the Sig more? Probably a lot of people like the Sig more. It's been around longer, but I think the new kid on the block deserves a fair chance and a fair shake at things. It's well worth looking into. A lot of people like it. But as usual, let me know your comments down in the comments section. All your thoughts and everything like that. I do love talking to you guys about that stuff in there. But I want to thank everyone that stopped by to watch the video, and I really do hope you liked it. Don't forget to toss those comments and thoughts down in the comments section. That's what it's for. We can get some discussion going on these and see exactly what everybody thinks. As usual, I hope everyone out there stays safe. Keep your family safe. Don't give up on your goals. It's not easy to stay on them. Consistency is key. It's the hardest part of it too, so just stick with it. You'll get there. It just takes time. I have to keep telling myself that all the time too, or else you kind of bum yourself out otherwise. But as always, keep active, stay strong, and I'll talk to you in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this, guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Later.